Relationships are critical. They're an essential human need. We might be freer on our own, but we are certainly happier when we are united with others. Now, this is not only something related to marriage, this is all sorts of relationships. The Torah tells us in Genesis 2, and you'll see it in text number 1 as well, that it is not good for man to be alone. A person needs to have relationships. You need to be connected with others more than just marriage. It's about children, siblings, parents, uncles, aunts, friends, the whole 9 yards. One of my favorite stories is 3 Yiddish mamas here in Miami Beach getting together for a bagel and a lox. The first Jewish woman, she goes, "Oi." The next mother, she goes, "Oi." The third one, she says, "I thought we agreed we're not going to talk about the kids." Successful relationships with our loved ones cannot be taken for granted. And that's why the Torah provides us with vital information to boost our relationships through 2 very important approaches. Number 1 is underlying attitudes, and number 2 is actionable advice. And that's what we're going to be discussing today and through the next sessions of this 6-week seminar. We're going to be discussing a chiropractic adjustment to how we view ourselves and others, as well as practical advice, tips, hacks, as to how to nurture better, more wholesome, and more meaningful relationships. Now, whether your relationship is already is bad and you're trying to make it into good, or if it's already good and you're trying to make it into excellent, I believe that there is something here for you. Because, you might have an amazing marriage, but your relationship with your mother, you might have a very good relationship with your siblings, but your relationship with your friends might be lacking. I remember reading recently that our generation has less friends than ever before. Men in our times, particularly men in our times, have a more difficult time making friends than ever in recorded history. Now, I don't know when recorded history was recording friendships amongst males, but it was an interesting headline to encounter. Could this be a thing? Could it be that there's an actual problem with our ability to foster friendships? Let's explore that in the next 90 minutes. A foundational idea about relationships is encapsulated in the following Mishnah, which I'd like to share with you. A Mishnah that tells us, it's on text number 2, page number 4 in your textbook. You'll see text number 2 tells us as follows. Yeshua ben Prachia would say, appoint a teacher for yourself, acquire a friend for yourself, and judge all people favorably. Now, there's a lot of information to unpack in that particular directive, but I'd like to draw your attention to the middle of that directive, where it says, acquire a friend for yourself. Acquire is an interesting verb to associate with friendship. It sounds like you have to pay for the friendship, right? That sounds pretty intense. Don't friendships just happen? Do they come to us naturally? The Talmud is telling us right here that friendships require effort and that they do not happen by themselves. We often hear of this fable, falling in love. I'm falling in love. According to what the Mishnah is telling us here in text number 2, that's the Baba Maisa. You don't fall in love, because if you fall into love, you can just as easily fall out of love. Relationships require effort. They don't happen by themselves. And the moment that we can accept that truth, the moment that we can make peace with that fact that our effort can bear fruit, which will result in more meaningful relationships, we're actually empowered to try to make them work.